Welcome back to Betoota Talks. My name is Wendell Hussey. I'm here with Clancy Overall, and this was a date circled in the calendar for a long time for us, Clancy. We lined up a huge international artist, nearly 12 months in the making, had them locked in, but less than 24 hours ago, we found out, unfortunately, they won't be making out here. So
1 foot on the private jet and turned around, decided not to.
This is showbiz. This is media. You have to find a replacement, and the show must go on.
And I think the listeners will be pretty happy with who we found as the replacement.
They will enjoy who we've got coming on the show today. Joining the lunatics in Betoota, we got the Hilltop Hoods. How you going, boys?
What's up, fellas?
You try. Did you like it? Because it was kind of a parallel to what happened in Splendor 2019.
That was the conch, mate.
The conch.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we couldn't get a conch in time for today, unfortunately.
Below the Hilltop's conch. Now, gentlemen, ninth album?
Yes.
Ninth.
I'm just going to say yes.
There's been a lot of albums.
6 years in the making.
Yeah.
I need to ask, because I'm not a musician, do you guys have that problem that a lot of musicians have where they're like, well, no, that was an LP. No, actually, no, that was a mixtape. Like, you could have done like 20 records.
We've got a few remix albums of the Symphony Orchestra in there. That's why I'm like, maybe 9?
Yeah.
Do they count?
It depends who you ask. If you ask, like, contractually.
We've delivered.
Yeah, don't ask the record label.
Well, how's the chemistry nowadays, guys? Like, you're obviously no longer, as we spoke about last time, smoking bongs under a house.
We all still sleep in one big bed.
Yeah,
that's
You pay tax now, so.
Well, I mean, it took us 6 years to make an album, so you tell me.
Everything's fine.
Calls.
Was that just cruising along at a pace that you guys wanted to do, or was it like a real labour of love?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
We took a little bit of time off during COVID. We toured super hard in 2019 on the last record, Great Expanse. And just took a little bit of time off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think COVID slowed things down
a
lot. Everyone.
But we made the new record, proper at it, making it sort of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, right.
Which is a few years longer than normal.
What was your turnaround back in the day?
Every 2.5 years.
2 or 3.
Yeah. 2 or 3 years.
Did you feel the sound changing back then? Like, this is a different sound on this album, or does it all feel like something that's kind of changed over time that you can only look back on? Yeah,
look, the sound changes a little bit every album, just kind of because, so does the world around you, and so do you as you get older, or we.
Yeah.
But albums kind of make themselves in a little bit of sense sometimes, unless you go out with a certain specific theme or something for the record, which we didn't.
And it's a bit like having a dog. Like when you've got a dog and someone comes around your house and they're like, oh, your dog's big.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's
yeah.
Same as yours, man.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask about. We spoke a little bit about it last time we had a chat, which was kind of just at the back end of COVID, maybe. But how you guys have managed to stay so strong in a genre where a lot of stuff can happen. There can be fallouts, there can be blow-ups, there can be incidents, dramas. How have you guys managed to just keep it going for so long and be happy to be making music together?
I don't know. I guess we've never really chased the sound or chased the crowd. We've just made the music we want to make.
Yeah.
And let it come to us.
Sleeping in the one big bed.
Yeah, that does it, eh? And the little one said.
I think when you go into a different room, a differard bed.
Yeah.
Can't hear what they're wearing in there.
It takes 6 years to make an album.
Well, speaking of your sound, how hard...
We've just started a press run and this is going to be like a recurring theme. So 6 years.
Yeah. Tabri went first. He started sleeping in the guest room.
It's going to turn out like Baz was in jail like half that time.
Yeah. It's a far more interesting backstory.
How hard did you guys have to push back on not making a country music style song in this album?
Well, being white, we were approached.
Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
there was something in the DNA that wanted more guitar. But no, we resisted.
We do sample a lot of country funk. Like a lot of what we sample, like Jim Ford on the last record was the sample for the first single, The Gift.
Yeah.
And that is straight out country. Yeah. Like that record. So it's funny, like if you go back even through it, like Leon Russell, who's straight country on this record for the hard road. Yeah. Melanie, who was like folk sort of country. It was, we do have that recurring theme.
Maybe there's something to that.
Now, what you guys would be able to, I guess, deduce from your crowds, right, over the years is you've kind of created a very accessible sound,
right?
Which you don't often see in hip hop. Even now we're looking at, this new wave of young guys coming through and they're doing big numbers online, but like those numbers exist in different corners of the world. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily universal to an Australian market. What do you think it was that you guys tapped into without being, we were very lucky it was you guys that broke, you know what I mean? Like it could have been some seriously, distressing figures that became our first huge band of Australian hip hop. You've met them all.
No, I agree. I think we're lucky that our sensibility just aligns with like a lot of other people's sensibility. And I think like going back to that song, The Gift, like we were raised on a broad sort of bunch of music. Like in my house, it was like jazz, blues, but my brother was listening to Cure, Susie and the Banshees. Another one was listening to reggae. Another one was listening to like Rush. And so I think there's that.
There's probably subconsciously elements of our music that people grew up listening to that exist in ours that maybe they're connecting to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it felt like a natural Australian kind of mutation in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also kind of want to talk about performing, right? Because that was also something you guys had to show Australians. You guys were well versed on American hip hop or British hip hop or hip hop in general. Australians hadn't seen too much on stage until you started appearing on festivals. You know what I mean? From our own backyard. Was one of your parents like a drama teacher or something? Is that? I mean, you didn't come out of the church. I know that much.
Your mum was a drama teacher, right?
My mum was a music teacher. She taught you rhythmics like music and movement, and I don't know that. Yeah, that definitely would have had something to do with it. But it was more for us, like doing support for American artists when we were coming up and seeing like we did support for like Foreign Legion. And up until that show, practically everyone I knew performed on stage by putting a foot on the speaker and the hand in their pocket and just rhyming, and to 100 guys. And 50% of them were rappers as well.
Yeah.
And from
also their hands in the pockets.
And then Foreign Legion came and they were like jumping around the stage, and it was almost like a punk show sort of. And I think seeing that was a big there's a turning point for us.
Yeah, it was like we don't have to stand there with the foot on the speaker and hand in the pocket. And Death Wish Cast had a really live show as well because they had a big breaking element, so there's a bit of acrobatic breakdance and energy going on up there.
How did you?
And we had to look in the mirror at some point and go, "We're pretty fucking boring."
Yeah, we should get a haircut. How did you break that to your community? Hey guys, we're gonna maybe dance.
There wasn't a lot of that.
We might move around a bit. Was there a little bit of kind of? I mean, you had to deal with, I guess, a little bit of prickliness when you guys started putting on shows.
Yeah, there was a lot of competitiveness in the Australian hip hop scene when we were coming up. There's a lot of other crews that were coming up with us that wanted that.
Festivals are very rock orientated as well.
Yeah,
and that side of it,
yeah.
I think whatever they were annoyed about like the shows being different was made up for by girls being there too.
Yes, yeah,
and then I distracted and didn't care anymore.
Yeah, it's so much more than Tall Poppy, right? When it's like these guys are doing something that chicks like. And then, I mean, there's a jealousy in that as well. They got chicks coming to their shows.
And then the venues thanked us for it. The toilet stopped getting as bombed and there wasn't as many fights.
Yes, a lot of poor unwitting publicans over the years. Their bathrooms
Who were the
destroyed.
crews coming up around you that you guys perceive as like they were coming with you?
Lyrical Commission were around the sort of scene. Bias B,
Downside.
Yeah, Death Wish were already there doing pioneer things.
Yeah.
The Optimum.
The Optimum.
Yeah,
They come a bit.
yeah.
They come a bit later, maybe.
They were dope.
Yeah,
That was about around the same time.
yeah.
Muff and Pluto.
Coolism.
Coolism, yeah.
Coolism, like, Hal was one of the first people that said to me, like, oh, we did this show and nobody was dancing, and I teased him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean no one was dancing? What do you care? It's like, it sucked. I'm like, it sucked why? and then, like, I understood 5 years later.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And then to make up for it, his DJ Danielson would get up and do a little breaking part, a little popping into it.
Pop and locking. Yeah.
Yeah.
He slept in a futon. I believe he still does.
All right.
Upright.
Yeah. Alternative.
There you go. The space station.
When did you guys feel that the rest of the Australian music scene was starting to, welcome you in? When was that? Like, was it, oh, you go to the Arias and you got wasted with fucking Grinspoon or...
That's a rite of passage, right? You're in the door there unless you've had a few with Phil. Probably when we started, performing at festivals on major stages, main or side.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first festivals we were at, we went made very welcome by Jet.
Oh, really?
Because they would take you up at the same time. And that during this festival, there was a screen that they were interviewing people between sets. And they said, like a lot of, I don't like this hip hop stuff where it's just like A, B, C, blah, 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 like nursery rhyme.
The homies, as they called us.
Then they got up and said, 1, 2, 3, tell me how it's going to be because you look so fine. What are you talking about?
That is a nursery rhyme.
I'm like Norman Mailer, shut the fuck up.
Was there anything behind it? Like, had you run into them in the past and there was a blah? Or they just didn't like the music and thought they'd pop up?
They were feeling themselves.
They were feeling themselves. They just have a huge record, and they were
iPod ad.
They were very big internationally.
Yeah.
He was having a shit backstage at a festival once and they didn't know he was in the cubicle and you overheard some chatter. Do you remember?
Hell, this is good goss.
That was 28 days, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
I was just saying to someone.
We're just going to back.
I love where we're heading.
I was chopping a deuce and over here in the convo at the urinal, and he was like, he wasn't that bad. He was just like, what do you fucking think of this hip hop shit on at festivals? And I came out like, I think it's all right.
Good. It's good that you confronted him.
And then shook my hand.
And then he went back in and wiped.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand as a new metal purist. Like, I would have been terrified about what you presented to the scene.
Especially the pre-wipe.
Was there ever a tap on the shoulder from, particularly coming from Adelaide, right? So much of the Australian music DNA comes out of there, whether it's the pub rock, the chisel. Did you ever get a tap on the shoulder from some guys that, were obviously household names when you were kids? Was there ever a nod? I know Barnesy would have said something encouraging.
We've met Barnesy a few times, and he's the world's biggest sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
Yeah.
We sort of got some nods from like local hip hop guys, but never really outside of the scene until we had broke ourselves.
Yeah. No, look, The Calling was a pivotal before and after album. I mean, everyone can say that objectively. You don't have to, don't worry, but you guys know that something changed in Australian music when that came out. Can you name any other pivotal Australian hip hop albums? They don't have to be guys that you've done ciphers with. Just across the scene of all eras.
Peg's Axis for me was.
Agreed.
It was around the same time.
Yeah.
2004, I think. Yeah, that was a bit of a game changer for me in just production across the whole board.
Yeah.
Rapping, songwriting and hooks and stuff. A lot of us didn't really write songs back in the day. We had a few verses on a beat.
Yeah.
So it evolved.
Yeah.
That was a moment.
I'm trying to think what I
Bliss, did that album, do they get in there with that, whatever it was, maybe 2005, 2006?
I think I'd be more looking at like Draft.
Yeah.
Your Life of Riley was a classic.
Yeah, like for me, yeah, there was actually a lot like Death Wish Cast Knights of the Underground Table, which I reckon came out in like 93 or something like that, was pivotal for me personally. I got it off a friend on cassette, and it was the first time I understood that you could make music and like put out a record.
Yeah.
Just like conceptualizing that. And, they sold some records overseas. I think they were selling records in Germany at the time and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was pivotal, and it was a great record.
Prowler, Money Walks.
Oh, yeah.
As a banger.
We used to, me and Matt earned rent money selling cassettes of that for a while out of our first home. We lived together.
Right.
I didn't sell bootlegs of
bootlegs. He sent us official copies. Oh, Prowler! I thought you were talking about Death Wish Cast. Yeah, no, I was going to say, am I having a stroke yet? I thought you were accusing me of bootlegging Death Wish Cast. So I was like, no, we were selling Prowler's album for him. Yeah. As far as like the rest of Australian sort of music listening public, though, I know Illy's Cinematic was a big record that I think went first or second in the singles charts, which was very
Tightrope. Yeah,
Tightrope. That's the one. Which was huge. Is huge.
Yeah. What about these young? I mean, not to say Illy's not young. We love you, Illy. Like these young guns.
So young.
These young ones coming through now, like this post, I guess, socials era. Like, are you seeing anything that's caught your eye?
Man, I'm going to be so honest. I listen to American hip hop.
Yep. That's fair.
I don't even listen to British hip hop. Yeah. I listen to a lot of American hip hop, and I don't listen to much Australian music, and I listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Well, that would be the answer we'd get from a rock musician, you know?
Right.
So you don't have to feel like you've betrayed anyone.
It's not really on the sort of commercial success front, but I know JK47's a lyricist has caught my eye in the last 5-10 years. Probably 5 or 6 actually.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Won an ARIA last year.
Yeah.
How do you, if you're looking at music from the States, how do you find that or curate it? Are you seeing stuff on socials? Are you just?
I got to tell you, man, I hate to say it, the algorithm's pretty good.
Yeah.
Algorithm's pretty good. Yeah. I sort of like just
comes through sometimes.
I'm just in a beach chair, just like algorithm hit me. What do I like? And then like, I'm like, you know what?
It's a bit easier than digging through vinyl crates.
Yeah.
But and there's so much more out there these days. It is a bit harder.
You need the algorithm to like cut through
the noise.
Yeah. The mouth to mouth's always going to be the strongest. Yeah. Like you're going to take a recommendation from a friend.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week. I know early days when you first started touring internationally, you'd find these little pockets of fans in France, and you had the Central Europe base. What are you seeing on the algorithm numbers? Do they let you know where are you having your international Kate Bush moments? Like,
yeah, they're pretty damn useful for that. We can see who's listening and buying
and where to tour,
which is pretty much what we're touring.
It's real time now. It's just
yeah.
I mean, with us, like obviously, just because of volume of people and culturally, the States is second for us.
Yeah.
But it's nearly always Germany that's third. They're right. So we're heading back for like the 11th time this year.
Yeah, Germany and Britain.
Yeah, right.
Do Germany, do they just love international music, or is it an Australian thing? Because so many Australian artists talk about the love they get when they go to Germany.
I have a theory that there is a bit of a cultural cringe sometimes around the accent for North Americans. Is something they just can't get past.
Yeah.
But when you're in Europe and it's like someone's second language, there's no sort of issue there. And I think that's where if you can stand up with your music and your show and everything, you can cut through.
Are there Germans, are there any not particularly English-speaking Germans getting around the show who just fucking love the sound and love the...
A little bit, yeah. I've had some conversations with some people that most of them speak English to some extent. Their English is a lot better than my German.
Yes,
But German's getting pretty good.
Well, I reckon it's from Borussia.
But yeah, you get some. I think it'll say culturally, Germany just loves music a bit more that's not mainstream.
Yeah.
They They like hard and
It's a club.
dirty.
Club scene.
Germans that don't speak English as well are the best. They're
Best
like,
crowds.
tonight you make great parties.
Yeah,
we did make a fucking great party.
Yeah, they get the reputation of being uptight, but there's a lot of eccentric fun Germans. Yeah.
I don't find them uptight.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's the ones that come to our show. They're the opposite.
Do you how do you tour nowadays? Is it like, you know, the Australian cricket side's now allowed to bring their wives on tour?
Our wives wouldn't want to come on our tour, guys.
No,
It's just
dribble.
It's a rolling fart cage.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
For sure.
10 guys on a sleeper bus for 30 days.
We tour with our vocalist now, Nyasa, and her first night on the bus, her partner's the videographer. Her first, I thought she was traumatized because our tour manager, I forget who else. It might have been Briggs.
Yeah.
They were all like snoring in unison, and it's in a space like smaller than this.
Yes.
It's like the vibration of the bus because the bus goes to the next country or state as you sleep.
Yeah.
Got them all in key as well. They were just snoring in harmony.
That poor woman. That's an interesting thing about being on top of each other for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about 10,000 hours. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I know you look at some of the great kind of partnerships or trios over the years, and how it could only work with them. You know what I mean? Kyle and Jackie O is a really interesting example. Like, it really is. Can you name one other woman that could do 10 years, 20 years with him?
Patience.
Yeah. And and when did you guys, like, and are there systems for you guys? Like, you've got a lot of decision making to do. You seem to be in a good place now where you've found a 10-man bus, and that's a template we'll use in Europe. Is it just by virtue of knowing each other since before you had to make hard decisions?
Oh, patience, thick skin.
Yeah.
No, not to want to push each other's buttons.
You can tell when the cup's filling up and about to overflow.
So you keep filling the cup.
to snap out. Yeah.
Good for creativity.
Our manager's a good mediator as well. Like,
Yeah, okay.
he knows what he's doing as far as managing people goes as well. Like, so
That's rare, I guess. You don't hear someone compliment their manager's ability to manage them.
No, it's not commonly said, is it?
It's always like they stole money from me or they enabled me to.
He does all of that too. He's just a good people person.
He must have been furious when you guys got off the piss.
we've got the best manager in Australia by far.
He's the one out there.
Yeah.
It's really good out.
You can hear coming through the wall as well.
How'd you come across him?
He came across us. Pause. He found out we were doing 4 shows at the corner or something like that.
Yeah, he's in Melbourne. He was a Melbourne booking agent at the time.
Right.
And he flew over to Adelaide to see us. And we were just like super impressed that someone had flown over to see us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was a Melbourne agent, so he might have just been a barfly at the corner.
Too late now.
He's been employed for 2 decades.
It's worked out, hasn't it? It's after the 6 shows at the corner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love how it went from 4 to 6.
Because after those 17 shows at Fox.
We were at the Sentinel. You were at the Sentinel. You just done 4 days of shows. I want to talk now about the Bad Boy days. When were they? Between what albums? We've got some album titles here that would suggest you guys were living pretty hard. 2012, Drinking from the Sun. Was that the party? When was the party days? Obviously, you're all in good nick now, so those days are behind you somewhat.
I'm out of disposable organs, but yeah.
I think the party days ended when Debris had the gallbladder removed and realised he'd been touring the world with a dead organ in him for about 9 months. Damn. 6 months maybe. Rehydration and
sepsis.
Yeah, and that.
Oh, that got close then.
Yeah, when they pulled it out, it disintegrated and fell back in me. They couldn't find it. And went on a fishing mission. I woke up
back in.
That was the end of the party days.
Found a few tequila worms in there.
Yeah.
They took some gristle out of his knee and they gave him the gristle. And I'm like, dog, put it at the bottom of the bottle of tequila.
It's called a noodle. It's an arthroscopy tear. It's a noodle. And it looked like a noodle. My surgeon gave it to me in a test tube. I'm like, fuck am I meant to do that?
Put it in a tequila bottle.
Put it in a tequila bottle.
Okay, he's new. Yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty good concrete end to the party days, I guess. What countries did you find were probably Germany, right? Where you've got the best fans, you've got the best parties, you've got the
best of party, Switzerland. Switzerland's always beautiful.
Where did you two disappear to that night? Langstrasse?
Amsterdam?
Yeah, okay.
Or Zurich? Or you want to keep going? Langstrasse in Zurich's a dangerous place at 4 a.m. Yeah. Can't recommend it.
He used to get in a taxi. Never did it in Chicago. But said, take me to the most dangerous place.
You would do that.
That was in Cologne.
Great memories.
That's where were some of the dodgy places you ended up.
Oh, the dodgiest. Europe's got another level of dodgy too.
Yeah. Because Zurich, I can't imagine that many dangerous bits in Zurich. Yeah, really?
So they compile it into one street. It's per capita. It's probabably one of the richest places in the world. I'm pretty sure it is.
I remember I walked out of a pub and to what I thought were drunk girls just bumped into me, and I went about 30 seconds later, I went, shit, my phone.
Yeah, right.
I get to the next corner, dude tries to sell me my own phone. And I'm like, I went to pipe up about it, and he just shows me the handle of the handgun in his waist, and I was like, yeah, nah.
Thanks, sir.
I've been played.
And that's the story of how Barry bought his phone the second time. Oh, well, an inspector, I think you'll find everything's in order here.
Still got all my contacts. Well, guys, it's been an impressive, I guess, story so far. Did you feel once you'd gotten this, after a decade on this album, did you feel, best part of a decade, sorry, did you feel the creative, did you feel something coming back? Or do you think like touring this is going to spur on just like that post-pandemic second wind of 10, 11, 12?
Yeah, it's a long creative process, much longer than normal. I think it probably got to about 6 months out when it started to actually feel like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, we're actually putting this thing out.
Yeah.
This is exciting. And then about 2 months out, it's kind of like the awful period of the album. But then now that it's handed in, it's feeling good.
Yeah.
And I actually looking forward to touring again.
Yeah, and I think we're feeling juiced for the next one as well. Like there was so much that we were like getting towards that didn't make it onto this album that's going to spill onto the next thing and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a 10th coming.
Yeah, dog. Contractually.
It's been a good deal. 10 album contract. Lastly, I want to talk about that roller coaster of making an album. Probably a bit different with this one, but for the others, when you had like, every couple of years you had an album coming out, and you've got the weight, right? You've got and then you've got the malaise at the end of it. Where are you at right now? You said you've handed it in. You're feeling. Is there still like this kind of performance anxiety yet to see how it's received, or?
Yeah, look, there's a little bit. There's always a big amount of anxiety in the anticipation of putting out new music, whether it's an album or a single for me.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty chill space right now. We're in between album hand-in, launch and tour.
Yeah.
I think I'm in a space where I'm like, I want it to do well, but I'm not like as concerned anymore.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not losing sleep over what people think.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm really happy with it. If you're not, then go fuck them.
Yeah.
It's too late anyway. So
yeah. It's also not like those early albums where you're like, okay, this consolidates us, man. Like this is going to put us in your household names. You have a loyal audience and it's growing.
Well, you still get people to shows regardless. I mean, I was talking to Pete this morning about there's a certain time at your life, no matter how big a fan you are of someone, is you fall away from their new stuff. Even if you're still a fan and still go to their show.
Yeah.
For some people, that's Saint Anger or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, and like, you always have people coming to shows and the albums will sort of be their own project to the side. And I think like that gives you a bit of luxury to sort of be more comfortable making what you want to make.
Yeah.
Because we know they're going to say, we like your old shit there. No matter what.
But that's what the fan forums are so good for, you know what I mean? Because you do end up – I remember Dylan did a Blues Fest, 10 years ago, and there was a lot of that discontent from the boomers over, he only played one song that I knew.
Yeah.
But there were real musos there, young blokes who were like, well, I've been on this shit, this new whatever Bob Dylan's doing now in his 70s, that you're going to find people that only tune in for that too, right? And that used to...
Can you imagine having a catalogue like his and trying to please everyone in a 1 hour set as well? But we're super well aware of that, and we try to give in our shows, which are anywhere usually from an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
A bit of everything, the old stuff and some new stuff, because we want to play the new shit.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of new fans every album as well, but there's always people that want to hear the old stuff. So
yeah, you got to play the hits, I guess.
Well, not Radiohead.
You will come on this journey with us, fans.
Sounds like you guys are in a pretty good place, and it'll be fun. Album coming out 1st of August. I guess before we go, any things about Adelaide we should be across? I know
anything you want to cover personally.
Yeah, you tell us if there's.
I feel like you've got some things you need to know from us about Adelaide.
No, we kind of
Penny
we haven't been.
Penny Wong said she supports the Crows because the only non-racist in her primary school went for the Crows.
Jesus.
What a low bar. Well done, Australia. Jesus Christ.
So was the 70s, 80s.
But Porter are a much better team. I'm just going to sneak that in there.
Okay. Is there some sort of division in this band over...
well, he's our sports guy. So
right, okay.
So, I'm the only sports person.
Yes, to you. They're good? All right, they're good.
My favourite moment was when we were doing the artwork for the Great Expanse, and I made it teal and black, which is, of course, the Port Adelaide Football Club colours. And about a year later, he goes, "Did you do that deliberately?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You only just noticed.
Do you get a lot of love from the Port boys?
Yeah, in general, I know a few of them. I hang around a lot for the free pies and beers at half time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, selfies.
Exactly. No, they're the ones I've met are very, very chill lads.
Yeah.
So I get around a bit.
Kenny B. I don't know what that is. No, the Bird. Remember when he was the last year? I'm not sure if anyone was across it, but in the finals they beat Hawthorn, and Hawthorn had this players would do the celebrations where he was a hawk flying, and
enjoy the Adelaide and Ken clear over it. Yeah. Got fined.
Stirred him up.
Got fined $20,000 for doing an aeroplane impersonation. Which is gold.
It was on 9/11 though, so.
Poorly timed. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. There's not much else we want to talk about with Adelaide.
That's it.
That's it.
Beautiful.
We enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming.
It's good to do this not on Zoom.
Yeah.
When you guys are all in your gaming chairs in different corners of the world.
We still got a gaming chair.
Hey, oh yeah.
It's actually played Call of Duty the entire interview.
Yeah, that's a new rule. You have to insist on seeing the hands the whole time. But he's got like one of those things with the chickens that put the arms on so he can jerk off while he's doing it.
Right, no, my hands are free.
Well, this is going to be a fun tour, boys.
It will be, yeah. It will be.